I'm gonna make a birch bark container. And today, because of the fact that I forgot my little travel cup that I bring with me to give my dog Dee Dee water in, I'm gonna make a little dog water bowl. So stay tuned. I'm pretty sure this is birch bark. Sometimes I get a little mixed up. Aspen can sometimes look a little like birch bark, but I'm gonna cut a few pieces out of this and work with it. It's tough to find a piece of bark that doesn't have holes in it because I want it to be waterproof. You can tell that this is birch bark because of the paper thin bark that comes off pretty easily. Not a bad piece for a dead tree. I think I can work with this. I'm gonna cut a few more pieces like this so I have a couple different options to work with. There's obviously ways to measure it better so it's exact, but right now we're just trying to cut a neat looking piece and get ourselves a birch bark container before the sun goes down, and then we can have a nice little fire. Even though this is a very dead piece, I got a decent little piece of bark that I can work with. Clean it all up. Another piece. Normally you would use live wood, but I don't want to destroy the environment if I don't have to. So I tried to find a couple pieces that I could work with, but that are dead. And you want to avoid holes. This has a hole, but I can probably break this down and make a tiny little guy. And then I got this piece. I gotta straighten this out and then start the folding process. This one feels a lot easier to work with than this one, but we're gonna try both and see which one is more successful with holding water. It's amazing to think about the first people thousands and thousands of years ago that were trying to survive and just using their brain, and the first person that ever took a piece of bark and churned it into a container to hold water or to hold berries. I love randomly thinking about stuff like that. All right, this is a little bendier. So I make these cuts so it's easier to fold over. I'm gonna take that, fold it over, and I'm gonna go get the next piece to hold this together. We're gonna go classic style. There's different ways that you can keep this together. You can actually sew it, but we are going to go classic style. I'm gonna grab a couple little branches and you'll see what we do to keep this together. We got to make some pins here. I want to take this and be very, very, very careful, and I need to split this, but not all the way. Do that to all four sides, and you get yourself a birch bark container. It's nice if these are the same length. gotta get a fire going soon. I forgot mosquito repellent, and they are starting to come out fierce. I should have measured this. It'll still work, but when you measure it perfectly, everything is gonna line up and you're not gonna have anything overlapping. And that's what I have right now. If you split these little pieces too far in, they lose their strength. But if you don't do it far enough, they're kind of too tight. There we go. There we go. We got our first birch bark container. Because of the dead wood, there's a crack right here, and this doesn't look fantastic, but that basically is how you make a container using these pegs. So we're gonna now make a larger one and see if it's a little more waterproof. But I'm gonna put some water up in here. Sweet, no leakage. You see it holds water. Obviously that crack is no good, and that's because of the dead wood. Hopefully that other piece felt a little bit more flexible, so we're gonna try that out real quick. This one's nice, it has no holes. So we're gonna fold it in. Take our pin. Where'd the pins go? Here's the first pin. Fold it over. Take the custom pin. Pop it into the corner. We got one side. This is definitely fun to do. And think about thousands of years ago, this was actually something that was extremely beneficial if you think about it. We got the 3 pieces. Let me grab another peg and then we'll have our container. I really want to be careful because it's pretty easy to make a crack with the dead wood. Go ahead. Good girl. So bam. Nice birch bark container. I didn't bring my doggy bowl with me, but I made one so the doggy gets some nice water. This is fantastic. So you can use this for your doggy drinking water, you can use it for water, and you can make bigger birch bark containers and boil water. And we'll do that in the very near future. So as you saw, very easy to make. Did you want some more? Very easy to make. You just gotta, like I always say, have a little bit of patience and take your time and get yourself a birch bark container. I want to thank you guys as usual for watching. The sun is going down, so I gotta be quick. Birch bark container, pretty fun to make, pretty useful. All you gotta do is have a little bit of patience. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. See you later.